Welcome. Welcome to our space where we can spend some time together again. Hoping that life is being good with you and that you're keeping warm and safe. And also having time, a bit more time than normal to pause and meet yourself. So we're going to spend an hour together or around an hour together to have a gentle stretch. And just as a reminder, please feel free to go at the pace that's right for you, to pause when you need to listen to that inner wisdom that says rest. The great thing about practicing at home, we're not needing to keep up with anybody, there's just you and your practice. That's a lovely way to cultivate deep kindness too, when we're not trying to keep up with anything other than ourselves. So for now, we're going to start kneeling. If your knees feel a little bit tight, you could put a cushion under your seat, or you could use a book, a nice big dictionary, could be like a yoga block. If you need a little bit more space under your knees, maybe pause the recording so that you can find what you need. And then settle in this moment. So that sense of coming home to yourself. And we can do that particularly when we notice the contact of the body with its support. So your seat on your cushion or your block or the floor. And the fronts of your shins and the tops of your feet meeting the floor. And your hands in your lap or on your sides, where they feel comfy. There's no right or wrong as long as we're always moving towards comfort. And for some moments, let's just go inside. Go inside the land of the body. Notice what's there today, maybe what came into the room with you. And as best you can, not feeling that you need to push it away, but to acknowledge what's here. So we might notice what mood, what energy level, and the emotion that's here. And we can notice it without a judgment, or we could cultivate the idea of noticing it without a judgment. You know, we're allowed to feel tired or grumpy or whatever emotion is here right now, to sort of have an inner nod of, okay, that's fair, that's allowed to be here. So for some moments, just feeling what's here with you. And as best you can, being okay with that. And whilst you feel the sense of connection with the ground and the sense of the body as a whole, become aware now of your breath, of your body breathing you. And we might feel that we need to then engage with the breath and harness it and breathe in a particular way. But what if we can step back from that and just allow the breath to breathe itself, just as it is. So noticing the coming and going of the breath. Aware of perhaps how deep or shallow it is. How fast or slow the breath is. Also noticing where you most clearly can feel that breath. This may be the feeling of the breath across the lining of the nostril, the cool breeze on the inner surface of the nose. You may feel the breath on the lining of the throat. Or the chest gently moving to accommodate the breath. Ribs expanding out in all directions. Receiving the breath, and then on the out breath, a sense of the body softening and letting go, letting be. Notice that. Or you might feel your breath in your tummy, in the belly. And preferably with a nice soft tummy that can make space for the breath, the belly rising as you inhale. And softening back as you exhale. So we're just going to spend a minute here witnessing this breath. And as you settle your awareness on the breath, you might also notice that the mind has legs of its own. It wants to wander off to maybe planning or figuring out. And the moment you notice that that has happened, which it just does for us all, that's what minds do, with a sense of kindness and understanding, simply returning to notice this next new breath. Use the slight background noise as my wolf has sneaked into the room. This is a live recording. And if your eyes were closed, gently opening them. Become aware of the space around you. So not looking at, but sort of gazing from the back of the eyes, that you're taking in the whole of the space. The space that will support and hold your practice. And we're going to start to bring in a little movement. So with the next inhale, let's inhale, stretching up tall. And as you exhale, turning the palms to face forwards and the elbows slide down, almost as if we want the elbows to meet each other. They won't, but the shoulder blades will squeeze towards each other. Inhaling, reaching. And exhaling, elbows moving backwards, lifting the heart, opening the heart. Inhaling, stretching, lifting the sides of the ribs, reaching the fingers up towards the sky. And exhaling down. Inhaling, reaching. Exhaling, reaching down, and take the hands behind the body, interlinking the fingers. Sliding the shoulders away from the ears. And then inhaling into the heart, so we're sort of gently lifting the heart. And as we exhale, squeeze the shoulder blades together. Inhaling, lifting the heart. And exhaling, squeezing the shoulder blades together. Inhaling, lifting the heart. And exhaling, squeezing. And then releasing the hold of the hands, allowing the palms to just settle back onto your thighs. Aware of the shoulders softening away from the ears. And meet the breath again. So we're punctuating the practice with moments of pause. And then with the next inhale, inhaling, reaching tall. And as you exhale, twist to the left. The right hand rests on the outside of the left thigh, and the left hand sort of in line with the spine behind. Gentle twist. And we're not going to hold that, we're just dipping our toe in the experience sort of thing, and then we're inhaling back to the center. And slowly and with awareness, twist the other way. Inhaling, reaching tall. Exhaling, twisting. Letting the whole of the exhale be that twist. Inhaling, reaching. And exhaling, twisting. Inhaling, reaching. Maybe reaching a little bit taller with one arm and then the other, lengthening the sides of the waist. And then exhaling, twisting to the left. And this time, let's just hold it for a few breaths. And we can sort of inhale just to the side and then exhale, twisting to look over the left shoulder. Inhaling a little bit of a release to make room for the breath. And then exhaling to glance over the shoulder. So it's a sort of an ebb and a flow of the breath. And then on your next inhale, untwisting, reaching tall. And exhaling to the right. Let's spend a few breaths here as well. Again, sort of inhaling, relaxing a bit, exhaling, twisting. It's very soft. We're not forcing a twist. It's just a suggestion. And then on the next inhale, inhaling, reaching tall. Exhaling, turning the palms out and just letting them float down. Let them feel the air. Let the air run between your fingers. Let the fingers touch the ground. It's like you're plugging into the mothership. Rooting to this moment. If at any time you feel that this kneeling starts to become a bit much for you, you can always change into a cross-legged seated pose. So feel free to adapt to what feels comfy for you. Inhaling, reaching up. Exhaling, bending over towards the right, letting the right hand settle down sort of near the right hip. Turning the left palm up towards the sky. We're going to push the sky up. And then bending the right elbow a little, dipping over to the right. Feeling that lovely stretch along this left side of the body. Inhaling, coming out of that bend a little, and then exhaling, folding a little more. And on the next inhale, both arms lifting up to the sky. Bending over towards the left now. The left hand comes down beside the left hip. Right palm turns up. We look up towards the sky as if we're pushing it away. That helps to lengthen that right side of the body. And then we dip and bend. And again, we can sort of ebb and flow with this right side of the body stretch. And then inhaling, coming tall. Letting the hands float down, that sense of the dust settling. Feeling the ground through the fingertips. Meeting your breath. Inhaling, taking the arms out in front, parallel with the floor. Take your left arm over your right, just above the elbow. So I'll just show you what it looks like. And then bring the backs of the hands to meet each other. And there's a taller hand. The tallest hand goes forwards and reaches round so that the palms can meet in Garudasana arms, the eagle. And then we're going to inhale, lifting the elbows up. And exhaling, moving the hands forwards, feeling a nice opening and stretch of the shoulders. Inhaling, reaching. Exhaling, hands moving forwards. Inhaling, elbows lift. Exhaling, hands moving forwards. And this time let's just hold that with the hands forwards for a few breaths, as long as it's comfy. Feel that you can come out at any time if you need to. Relaxing your jaw and softening your mouth. And then with the next in-breath, unfurl your wings. Nice opening of the heart. And let the hands settle. Maybe lifting the shoulders up towards the ears, sliding them behind the ears and softening a couple of times. Inhaling, bringing the hands back to parallel again. This time the right arm goes over the left, just above the elbows. And then the backs of the hands meet each other. The tallest hand moves forwards and round so that the palms can meet. Inhaling, lifting the elbows. Exhaling, hands moving away from you. Inhaling, lifting the elbows. Exhaling, hands moving away. Inhaling, lifting. Exhaling, hands moving away, and then leaving the hands in that position. And if it's comfy, to take a few breaths here. And you might want to breathe into the space between the shoulder blades, as if you're making a little bit more room there. Feeling the ribs expanding there to open to the breath. And then on the next inhale, unfurling your wings, stretching wide. And letting the hands settle down. Again, lifting the shoulders up towards the ears, behind the ears, and sliding down. Lifting up towards the ears, behind the ears, and sliding down. Maybe one more time. And then hands resting on the thighs. Meeting ourselves in the pause. Noticing how the shoulders feel. Perhaps a sense of warmth or a fizz of aliveness from the movement. Inhaling, taking the arms wide again, lifting up tall. And this time folding the arms and taking the hands so that they rest on your shoulder blades. They're crossed and we're giving ourselves a hug. We haven't had as many opportunities for our daily hugs with this sense of social isolation. But when we hug ourselves for apparently at least 20 seconds, and we embrace that hug, we release oxytocin, the feel-good hormone. And though the brain is clever, it's not clever enough to know this hug is coming from us or someone else. It still meets us and nourishes us. So for some moments, feel your hug. Embrace yourself with all that you're navigating. And then on the next inhale, let's stretch up tall and just hug ourselves the other way. So pressing the arms the opposite way. Let's have an opportunity for another hug. As my son would say, we're filling our hug tanks. slowly release. Hands resting on your thighs. Bring your hands into Namaste for a moment and then open the palms as if you've got space for a treasure there. And with this time of uncertainty, maybe we'd like to send out a wish to someone that we care about, someone we may be concerned about right now. So imagine that person is held in the space of your hands. And bowing your head towards your heart, you might like to offer this practice for them. So inwardly saying to yourself and to that person that you're holding in your own cupped hands, may you be safe. May you be well. May you accept yourself just as you are. May you be kind to yourself. May you be well. May you be safe. May you accept yourself just as you are. May you be kind to yourself. And then let that wish go out into the universe to support the loved ones around you. And then if you're kneeling or sitting on a block, move your block or your cushion away. And come on to all fours now. So a tabletop flat back. The hands are sitting under the shoulders. Knees are under the hips. The fingers are nice and wide so we can see lots of mat there. And to take the pressure away from the wrists, let's settle the fingers down first so the knuckles really land and take a bit of the weight of the body. And then we're going to move through some cat-cow movements. So inhaling, lifting your heart and your belly sinks and the sit bones lift. And then exhaling, pressing into the palms of the hands and the nose moves towards the navel and the back arches. Inhaling, belly sinks and heart lifts. Exhaling, back arches, nose to navel. So just going at the pace that's right for you with your breath, allowing the whole of the in-breath to be the heart lifting and the whole of the out-breath, the arch of the spine, nose to navel. And then coming back to a more neutral spine, taking a breath in. And as you breathe out, turning to the left to look towards your heels. And then inhaling back to the center and turning right to look to the heels. Just moving and rocking and rolling. And you might want to, as you say turn to the right, your hips might want to lower a bit towards the left, feeling a nice opening in the hips. And as you turn to look at your left heels, your hips might move towards the right. And then coming back to a more neutral spine, letting your butt move towards the heels and allow your forehead to rest on the floor into child. You can do, if your head isn't meeting the floor, you could have a fist or two to prop your forehead on. It's nice to actually feel the weight of the forehead resting on its support. It helps us to quieten the mind. So as you rest here, feel again your connection with the floor, forehead on the floor, fronts of the shins, elbows, meeting your breath. And noticing if you're anticipating what's next. Whenever we're anticipating what's next, we're not fully in this moment. So as best you can, inhabit this moment completely. A sense of weight of your body settling on the ground, sensations, warmth, touch, movement of the breath. And then lifting your head, taking your arms out in front of you, nice long arms. And then coming onto all fours, tucking the toes under, and then pressing the hands into the mat, lifting the backs of the thighs up behind. I'm just going to take my jumper off so you can actually see what I'm doing. Head's just going to hang down. And the feet are hip width apart. The heels are moving towards the floor. And the hands are pushing the mat away from you. And then let's walk the downward facing dog, the Adho Mukha Shavasana. So lifting and lowering alternate heels, bending and straightening alternate knees. And at any time, if you need to, you can choose to move back into that lay-by pose of the child of Balasana and pause there if you need to. When you notice what you need, this is a huge strength. So we're not trying to endure. That's a human construct. We're not meant to endure. We're meant to be kind to ourselves. So slowing that movement down now until you come to stillness, lifting both heels up so just the backs of the toes are on the floor, and then settling them down towards the floor. They may not reach the mat, and that's okay. We've all got different lengths of bones, and it's more about our bone structure than anything else. And then we're going to focus your weight into the left leg so you can lift the right leg up behind. And then slowly bending that leg and moving it forwards and letting the foot land wherever it does, because we can grab that foot and just lift it forwards. So have a glance at your knee and check that it's sitting above the ankle. The face is facing the floor. pause here. If you need to, you could settle your back knee down if that feels more comfortable for you. And what we want to feel is just a gentle stretch opening in the hip, nothing that's demanding or uncomfortable. And then inhaling, lifting the heart center. And then as you exhale, we're working towards straightening that front leg. The butt moves back and the head bows. Now my knee isn't completely straight. We don't need it to be completely straight. And then inhaling, the body rocks forwards into the front knee being bent again and the heart lifting. And then exhaling, folding over the front leg as it moves towards straightening. Inhaling, rocking forwards, heart lifting. Exhaling, hips move back. Body sort of tumbles over the front leg. And let's just hold that for a few breaths now. And this can also be done with the knee down, rocking and rolling. If that feels more comfortable for you, that's another option. And then inhaling, coming forwards, planting the hands back down either side of that front right leg, rooting down into the hands so you can push into the hands and step the right leg back again, back into downward facing dog. Push the mat away from you, hips moving back, lengthening the spine. Relax the jaw and the mouth. And then very slowly, with awareness, soften the knees, allow them to land. And we'll fold back into child pose. To take a few breaths here. So meeting yourself in child. And when we meet ourselves here, it's a sense of feeling the sensations in the body. The touch of the shins on the floor. The arms on the floor, the forehead. Weight of the body pressing down. And then meeting the movement of the breath. And then lifting the head. Slowly, like everything sort of in slow motion, so that we're really inhabiting our practice. Hands a little bit more than shoulder width apart. Knees under hips. Toes tucking under, and we're pushing into the mat with the hands. Head hands down. Back into downward facing dog. With teeth in. You can take your arms out a little bit further if you need to. So finding your place. And then rooting down through the right leg so that it's preparing to hold you. And then we inhale, lifting the left leg up behind. And then as we exhale, we're bending that left knee, we're swinging it forwards, we're letting it land wherever it does. And then giving it a lift to move back into a lunge. Again, the knee is sitting above the ankle, or you have that option to lower your back leg if that feels more comfy for you. So pausing here for a moment. And then we're inhaling, lifting the heart. Exhaling, the hips move back as the left leg moves towards straightening and the body just tumbles over the front leg. Inhaling, knee moves forwards back into a lunge, heart lifted. Exhaling, hips move back. It's like a humble bow. Inhaling, heart lifting. Exhaling, moving back, and this time let's just hold that for a few breaths, as long as that feels comfy, and you've always got the option again to have the back knee down if that feels better for you. Notice the feeling of the feet meeting the floor. Weight of the body pressing down. The body feeling the texture of the mat. And then inhaling, coming forwards again. Placing the palms down into the mat so that they're ready to support and hold you. And then we step the left leg back into downward facing dog, lengthening the spine. And then softening the knees, folding into child. And this time, let's take the hands back so that the palms of the hands are facing up near the ankles. And it allows the sort of shoulder blades to slide apart, slide towards the floor, creating some space in this mid-upper back. Finding the breath, feeling the breath. And then lifting the head, sliding the hands along the mat, feel the mat. Rolling forwards to rest on your tummy. So the elbows are under the shoulders. And the forearms are engaging with the floor. If the lower back feels that that's quite a strain, you could move your elbows a little bit further forwards, and that softens the curve of the back. So finding what feels good for you. And then imagine the hands and the forearms are really engaged with the floor, and you're almost wanting to drag the mat back towards your hips. And lift your heart center. You feel a nice stretch in the lower abdomen. Hopefully it's nice. If it's not nice, we ease off. So feeling your hip bones connecting with the floor on the fronts of your thighs, knees and the tops of the feet. And then slowly slide your arms down. Arms stretching out in front, turning your head to one side and resting here. And it's another opportunity to really meet this moment, not anticipating what you're going to do next, but to simply fully inhabit the experience right now, the body meeting the ground, the touch of the ground meeting the body. Maybe the belly breathing into the floor. And then turn your forehead to face the floor. And we're going to inhale, lifting the left arm, right leg. And the other limbs sort of press into the floor to give you stability. And then exhaling down. Inhaling, lifting right arm, left leg. And the other limbs press into the floor. And exhale down. So moving into and out of this, alternating the lift. The face is still facing the floor rather than looking ahead, so that we don't shorten the back of the neck. And as you do this, maybe extending, lengthening the body that you're lifting, as if you're reaching and growing. Completing the one that you're on, the lift and the stretch that you're on. And again, settle back down onto the mat, maybe turning your head the opposite way this time. And land. It always feels to me a bit like a sort of a sunbathing posture when you're on your tummy. You could just feel that you're resting out in the sun. Feeling all those points of contact between your body and the floor. And then sliding your hands down alongside your body, and then placing one hand on your sacrum and the other hand in the palm. So their palms are facing up, forehead meeting the floor. And then we're going to press into the tops of the feet, the fronts of the thighs and the hips. And then lift the upper body as you breathe in, inhaling, lifting. And exhaling, lowering. Inhaling, lifting. Exhaling, settling back. Inhaling, lifting. And you could continue to do this, or if you prefer, the next time you could inhale and lift, and then hold that for a few breaths. So taking maybe 3 or 4 breaths lifted, if that feels okay, coming out whenever you need to. And then on the next exhale, turning your head to the side, letting the hands slide off your hips. And rest. Nothing to do. Just feel your breath in this moment. And turning your head to face the floor, bringing your arms up, elbows bent, one hand on top of the other. Allow the forehead to rest on the hand. And then imagine those hands are glued to your forehead. And we're going to lift the upper body again, first rooting down through the tops of the feet and the fronts of the thighs and the hips. And then inhale, lifting. And the body comes up with the hands connected to the forehead. And exhaling down. Inhaling, lifting. Exhaling, lowering. Inhaling, lifting. Exhaling, lowering. And again, you could continue to do this, lifting and lowering, or next time you could choose to hold the posture up for a few breaths. And then exhaling down. Turning your head the opposite way to last time. Elbows remain bent. Full weight of the body just softens and melts into the mat. hands down alongside the body, bending your right knee so that the hand can hold the top of the right foot. And if it can't reach that, you could either grab a bit of your clothing, or you could have a belt, dressing gown belt, or anything that you've got to hand. Wrap it round the foot. And the strap can guide the heel towards the buttock. So we're just gently guiding the heel towards the buttock. It doesn't have to meet. So all we want to feel is a nice comfortable stretch in the front of the right thigh, in the middle of the muscle, in the heart of the muscle. So if you're feeling a stretch near the knee or the hip, maybe you're pulling too hard. So let's ease off a bit. We just want a nice, gentle, comfortable stretch. And if that feels a little bit tight in that front thigh, you could imagine that that right thigh were a lung that you could breathe into. Breathing into the stretch. And then as you breathe out, a sense of softening in the muscle. And after a few breaths, you might find that you can guide that heel a little bit closer. But it's something for you to just test and see if that feels okay, and ease off if it doesn't. Let that inner teacher really guide you. The reason the body sometimes calls loudly to you is it's protecting you. So we need to really listen to that guidance and be kind. And now releasing the hold of the right foot, circling the toes as you lower that leg down. That helps to release any tightness in the knee. And then if your head was facing one way, turn it the other way. I'm not going to, just so you can hear me. And then let's bend the left knee and hold the left foot, or use a strap again if that feels more comfortable for you. So we find our stretch again in the belly of the thigh muscle. And just meet your breath. Again, we can choose to breathe into the heart of the thigh and out from the thigh, a sense of softening. Easing off if you need to, coming out of the posture if you need to. And after a few breaths, you might find that you can guide that heel a little bit closer, or you might find that you can't, and that's okay. There's no right or wrong, as long as we're meeting ourselves with comfort. And now letting go of the left foot, circling the toes as you lower the leg down to the floor. Now we're going to roll over onto our backs. Knees are bent. Knees are sort of hip width apart, so they're not falling in towards each other or out away from each other. And let hands rest on the tummy. And relax the jaw. And soften the mouth. And be with your breath. And then bringing your heels a little bit closer towards your buttocks. You may be able to feel the backs of the heels. It doesn't matter if you can't, it just means I'm an orangutan and I've got long arms. And you're not an orangutan. So the knees are sitting above the hips. And we're going to move into the bridge pose. Inhaling, taking the arms over the head, letting them settle on the floor, and then slowly peeling the spine off. First, we just lift the tailbone, then just the sacrum, and then one vertebrae at a time, peeling off. And then as we begin the exhale, the body just softens back down. So at first, again, we're just slowly flowing into and out of this. And this helps to bring a sense of comfort and okayness to the body. We're not asking it to do something it's not fully prepared for. So inhaling, the spine peels off, the breastbone moves towards the chin, the head stays absolutely planted. And then exhaling, rolling back down. And you could choose to continue with this, just rolling up and settling back down. Or on the next, rolling up, you might choose to hold that for a few breaths. And although you can't necessarily see your knees, just know that you want them to be above the ankles, so aware that they're not sort of falling in towards each other or falling out to the side. We're lifting the inner ankles and pressing the outside edge of the feet into the mat. And the whole of the soles of the feet are feeling the floor. Noticing your breath, filling and expanding your lungs. And then on the next exhale, slowly rolling back down. Allowing each vertebrae to have its moment as it settles and feels the floor. And then following with your arms. Hands feeling the air as they come to settle down on the mat. Meeting the ground, soles of the feet, feeling the ground, backs of the hips and the sacrum, upper back, shoulder blades, arms, back of the head, connecting. And then bringing the knees in towards the body, in towards the chest. Let's hug around the shins and gently rock and roll, massaging the back of the body. Awareness in the back of the body as it prints itself into the mat. And then coming back to stillness. Taking the arms out to the side, like a letter T. Taking a breath in. And as you breathe out, let the knees fall to the right. And if it feels okay for your head, you could turn your head to the left. If your neck doesn't like that a whole lot, you could just look up at the ceiling. And take your awareness into the meeting of the shoulder blades with the floor. It's more important that we settle the shoulder blades into the floor than the knees actually settle to the ground. So really allowing that connection through the back of the body, the back of the shoulders. And you could invite a little bit more of a stretch by placing your right hand on the outside of the left thigh. and hugging that limb towards the floor. Breathing into the left side of your chest, the left ribs, the left lung. So imagining like the fingers of the left ribs expanding as you breathe in, and then drawing together as you breathe out. And then if you were holding the outside of the left knee, release that hold, and then inhaling back to the center, and exhaling now, the knees falling down to the left, the head turning to the right. If that feels okay, otherwise you can continue to let your head face up to the sky. The left hand on the outside of the right thigh, hugging the knee towards the ground. And then we're breathing into this right side of the body, the right chest and the right lungs, almost directing the breath there. And then inhaling, lifting the knees back to the center, hugging around the shins. Lifting your nose towards your knees, maybe give them a kiss. Thank you for supporting me. And then letting the head settle back down on the ground. And then those of you that do classes with me with the TRE element, the shaking, you might want to pause the film to practice your TRE, the neurogenic element of the yoga, for 10 to 15 minutes. And then you can always reactivate for the guided relaxation. So moving into the guided relaxation, just settling the legs down onto the floor, letting the feet fall out to the sides. Arms a little away from the body with the palms facing up. You might want to grab a blanket, have a cushion under your head. Maybe put a bolster or some cushions under your knees if you've got any tightness in your back. Or if you haven't got cushions available, you could keep your knees bent. That creates a little bit more space in the lower back. That's settling down now. So as you meet your body in this moment, feeling all those points of contact between the back of your body and the floor, and the back of your heels, the backs of the calves as they print into the mat, backs of the thighs, buttocks, lower back, shoulders, shoulder blades, arms, elbows, hands, backs of the head. Feel the weight of the body settling. And becoming aware of your breath. Particularly the out breath, Maybe lengthening that a little, maybe a couple of seconds, adding a couple of seconds to the out breath. That helps us to move again out of the more activated part of our nervous system into the rest and renew part of our nervous system. And each out breath, feeling that sense of softening, melting into the support of the ground. Become aware of the whole of your body now. Feeling your body from the inside. The aliveness of your body. Its community of cells talking and sharing, filtering and nourishing. Become aware of the space around you. And space to the right of you and the left of you. And space above you. And the space beneath you. Become aware of the scent of the room. And any sounds that come to your ears, maybe sounds in the distance. Or sounds within the room, maybe the sound of your own breath. And know that right now in this moment there is nothing missing. Your body is breathing you. Team you is supporting you. You are enough right here, right now. So choosing now whether you would like to just rest here for 10 minutes in the company of you. Or if you want to complete your practice, you're very welcome to maybe stretch, wiggle toes, maybe hug your knees and roll onto your side. And then over the next minute or two, with no rush at all, making your way up to sitting. So bringing your hands to meet at the heart. And I'd like to thank you for sharing this practice with me. Namaste. The space of peace in me salutes the space of peace in you. And go well with your day.